Hi, how y'all doing? Glad you stopped by to listen in. Um, Bryce and his buddy Garrett had gone to the library, and Bryce was cluing him in on everything, but we're in Juliana's perspective. And if you remember that other girl, I grabbed Juliana and yanked her down the aisleway of the library, and they were listening in. And she said, I hurried over. She pointed through the column of books and whispered, Listen. It was Garrett's voice, and then Bryce's. And they were talking about me and my chickens and salmonella poisoning and how Bryce had been throwing away my eggs and about me fixing up our yard. Bryce was sounding like he felt really bad, but then suddenly my blood ran cold. He was talking about Uncle David. And then Garrett laughed and said, a retard? Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? You know, about Julie. For a second, there was silence. And at that moment, I was sure they must be able to hear the pounding in my chest. But then Bryce laughed and said, Oh, right. I positively crumbled to the floor. And in a flash, the voices were gone. Darla checked around the corner, then sat beside me, saying, Oh, Jules, I'm so sorry. I thought he was about to confess that he's been crushing on you. What? Darla, Bryce does not have a crush on me. Where have you been? Haven't you noticed the way he's been looking at you? That boy is lost in Loveland. Oh, obviously. You just heard him, Darla. Yeah, but yesterday I caught him staring at you and he said there was a bee in your hair. A bee, girl. Is that the lamest cover up you have ever heard or what? Darla, the way things have been going, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bee in my hair. Oh, you think you're that sweet, huh? Just attract bees like honey? Well, honey, the only bee you're attracting around here is BRYCE. Cute, yeah. But after what I just heard, I'd stomp and grind, girl. Stomp and grind. She got up to go, but turned and said, Don't worry, I won't jabber. I just shook my head and forgot about Darla. How wrong could a person be? It was what Bryce and Garrett had said that I couldn't forget. How could they be so cruel and so stupid? Is this what my father had gone through growing up? The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. What right did Bryce have to make fun of my uncle? How dare he? I felt fire burn in my cheeks and a cold, hard knot tighten in my heart. And in a flash, I knew I was through with Bryce Lasky. He could keep his brilliant blue eyes. He could keep his two-faced smile and my kiss. That's right. He could keep that too. I was never, ever going to talk about him again. I stormed back to the section of books on Susan B. Anthony, found two that would work, and went back to my table. But as I was collecting my things to check out of the library, I remembered the next day we were going to the Lasky's house for dinner. I zipped up my backpack and threw it over my shoulder. Surely, after what had happened, I had the right to vote against going, didn't I? Do you think her mom's going to let her get out of it? Probably not. Anyway, can you blame her for being ticked off? That's ridiculous. Why would he act like that? Crazy. This is why the legal dating age is 22, because we don't have time to worry about that. That's just beyond us. Here we go. Next chapter is by Bryce, and he has the serious Willie. Hmm. Realizing that my father had the same sense of humor as Garrett gave me the serious willies. I had the hardest time just looking at my dad, let alone speaking to him. But at about 5 o'clock Friday afternoon, I agreed with him about one thing. We should have barbecued. A barbecue is, more low key. Instead, my mom was flying around the kitchen, slicing and dicing, barking orders at Dad and me like the president was coming to dinner. As we swept the floor, put an extra leaf in the table, brought in 5 more chairs, and set the table, we said it all wrong, of course, but all my mother had to do was shuffle things around to make it right. It looked the same to me, but what do I know? She put out candlesticks and said, Rick, can you load the dishes and run them? I'd like a chance to get cleaned up. After that, you can change. And Bryce, what are you wearing? Mom, it's the bakers. Are you trying to make them feel totally worthless? Trina and I agreed on a dress up, so, but why? My dad put a hand on my shoulder and said, so we can all feel equally uncomfortable, son. Women. I looked at her and said, what does that mean? I have to wear a tie? No, but some sort of button down instead of a t-shirt would be nice. I went down to my room and ripped through the closet looking for something with buttons. There were lots of buttons, all right, lots of geeky buttons. I thought about boycotting my mother's dress code requirements, but instead I started putting on shirts. 20 minutes later, I still wasn't dressed, and I was extremely ticked off about it because what did it matter? Why did I care what I looked like at this stupid dinner? I was acting like a girl or like a guy who's trying to impress a girl. We'll find out how dinner goes next time. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe, stay healthy, be kind to one another.